All right, welcome back. Welcome back. We're back into this next episode. And if you joined me last time, then what we did is we worked on the abilities of the character. And I said that we're going to put the abilities behind like a kind of ability system. Kind of like mana is what they call it in most games. It's going to take some mana to use your abilities. So that's what we're going to do in this episode. So let's jump right into that. First thing that we need to do is go into our character. So go to your BP character and we're going to create two variables. You can actually copy your max health, duplicate it, and we're going to call this mana, current mana. And we're going to do the same thing with we duplicate that and call it max mana. Okay. And then you can compile and save, and you can set both of those to 100. If you duplicate it, they will already be set at 100. So cool. We got that out the way. Now what we need to do is we need to set up our heal ability so that it takes away mana. So when they press heal, this is what we'll do. We'll do it outside the function because we don't have to do it inside the function. We're going to say, is their current health mana? So get that. Is it less than or is it less than or equal to, for heal, how much is it going to take them to do that? I think it's going to take them all 100. So we're going to say, do they have 100? So is it greater than or equal to 100? And then put a branch by holding B. Well, make sure you're not in the box right there. I just typed all B's. Put 100 back there. And hold branch to outside the box right there. And then hook that up. So we're saying if the current mana is greater than or equal to 100, right? Then they can use their heal ability. So, perfect. If not, they can't use the heal ability. If they have less than 100, they can't use the heal ability. So the other ones we won't set at 100, we'll set it at something different. But now we need to set it up so that the heal ability takes mana away from them. So let's actually go into the function for this one. So double click on it or click on it over here to the left. And when they heal, we want to set the current health to the max. Also, we want to set the current mana to get the current mana, and then do minus 100. So type in subtract, and then we can just type in 100. So let's double check and see if everything's going to work right. When we press the button, it's going to say, how much mana do you have? Is it greater than or equal to 100? If it is, then we can heal. And when we heal, we're going to set the max health. We're going to set the current health to the max health. Then we're going to set the current mana to the current mana minus 100. And if that number is 0, so if that number is less than or equal to 0, then we'll set that number to 0. So hook that in and hook a branch here. We need that to be the condition. Hook this plug here. And if the current mana is less than or equal to 0, then true, set it to 0. Cool. That should set it up so that it takes away 100 mana every time we use the heal. We don't have any way to get mana back, so it's just going to be gone every time we try it. Let's test that out. Well, there's no way we can see that. Hold on. There's no way we can see it. So, actually, what we need to do is that. Alright, cool. So what we need to do is we need to go back to the third person character. We have that set up correctly. And now we need to open up their HUD so we can add that mana stuff to it. So open up the HUD, main HUD here. What you can actually do is take this health bar that we created last time, and you can duplicate it. Just right click and duplicate it, and we'll call it mana. So rename it to mana. Alright, put it right underneath your health bar. Put mine right there. And then I'm going to change my color to like purple or blue or something like that. Some kind of cool dark color. And then find where it says percentage. And you can see you can play with the percentage, but we want to bind it. And we want to create a binding. Now, this is what we want to do. Drag off your character reference over here. Okay. Get your character. Now, drag over here and say get current mana. And then drag off of there and say get max mana. And then we're going to do the same thing we did in the health, is just divide it. And plug it in. And that should be that. Perfect. Oh. What is this? Intranet. Trigger box. This is not my code, so I don't even know. And now if something like this happens to you, see, like this is something that is coming from the engine. So I'm going to turn my engine content off. I don't even know what that's going to do. Let's see if we break it. It was going to break the game. Who knows? So if you have this error, you could just do what I did. Just delete the node that's messing up. I don't even know what I did to turn that on. But let's check it out and see if it works still. Works still good to me. We got our mana up there. Let's walk into the lava. We're hurt, we're hurt, we're hurt. Use our heal ability. It took away all of our mana. Everything works perfect. What we can do now is we can go put that code onto the rest of our abilities. So go back to your third person character and let's look at some of the other abilities. So for the dash ability, we want this to take a little bit of mana as well. What we should do is just make a function of, but it's okay. We'll just do it manually. So for the dash, every time you dash, let's make it take, how about 25% of your mana? Or just 25 of your mana. So let's get the current mana. And then subtract 25. So subtract and write in 25. That's how much we want it to do. Then we're going to set the current mana to that number. So what we want to do is set the current mana to minus 25 of whatever it was. Now, before we go, we need to make a branch, because if that number is less than or equal to 0, then we need to just set it at 0. There we go. So set it to 0. Alright. Basically, set it to 0 and do nothing. But if it's not set to 0, then we can dash again. So as soon as they press it, it's going to set it to minus 25. Then it's going to check and see if it's less than 0. And then if it is less than 0, then it's going to set it to 0. But if it's not, then it's going to do our dash. So let's test that out. Make sure that works. So I run through here and my dash. I can't dash anymore. Perfect. So it works. Alright, and then lastly, we'll put our last ability here. What was that? Our shrink ability. Now, I want this one to take, I don't know, just 10. I want you to be able to shrink. It shouldn't really take any. I don't know. Shrinking shouldn't take any. I'm going to make shrink ability be locked up behind an item. So when you have that item, then you'll be able to shrink. But I'm not going to put it using any of your mana. Because we'll use the mana for other stuff. Like magic and stuff. But that should be your whole mana system set up. So now your characters should have mana. And it should be getting used every time they use their abilities. So there you go. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below. But that's pretty much is going to handle this episode. I just wanted to show you all how to put the mana system in there and add it to the HUD and make sure that it works correctly with our abilities. In the next episode, we'll go a step further. We'll make everything a little bit cooler and we'll add some pickups. So join me next time. See ya.